Hi, I'm Kim Rathbone of the Rathbone Group, and I'm here at the National Association of Subrogation Professionals Conference in Phoenix, Arizona. And joining me today is Erin Peikes from Nivinskus Law Group, and she's here to talk about mass mediations. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So why don't you explain what are mass mediations?
Mass mediations are generally when you mediate more than one case at a time, normally as many as you can fit in a day.
Yeah, or over maybe multiple days.
Or over multiple days,
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So what are the pros and the cons?
So some of the pros are you just get a whole lot of cases done and hopefully settled. And the cons generally are you don't have as much time per case. Normally, I like to schedule mass mediations for anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay, so what makes a mass mediation successful?
Getting all of the cases, or as many as you humanly can, settled.
Yeah, that makes sense. So in the subrogation world, tell me about that.
So I primarily work in auto and property. I particularly like using mass mediations in the auto world.
Okay,
So specifically auto subrogation.
yes. And it makes sense to do that because there's volume there, right?
Absolutely.
So when you're on the plaintiff side, what can you do to ensure the greatest amount of success?
I would say the number one thing you can do is pick the right cases. Pick cases that are ready to go and liabilities ideally been decided. You should definitely know your facts, be ready to just jump right in. You definitely need to speak with your adjuster prior to the mediation. Get all of your numbers in order. I normally like having a sheet of paper with, general summary of the case facts, all the important parties, all your numbers, and what you decide liability at generally, and what authority you have from your adjuster, right? That's the big ticket item right there. Lastly, I'd also say speak to your opposing counsel. You need to have a harmonious relationship with them and make sure you're on the same page with what cases you're bringing on.
That makes sense to me. So what about on the defense side?
On the defense side, I would say, again, pick the right cases. Pick cases that you have client communication, that they're ready to get the case settled, they're willing to contribute, and they're just ready to go. I would also say, speak with your adjuster, make sure you have all of your numbers ready to go on board. And on that same note, speak with your opposing counsels. Make sure you are exactly on board with them and you know how it's going to go. They know how it's going to go. I would strongly suggest not to mediate cases that the defendant is not going to be there or not willing or able to contribute, because at that point, you're kind of just wasting money. You may as well send an email with the policy limits to your opposition.
So what about after the mass mediation?
After the mass mediation, when you've hopefully settled all of your cases, I would say it is absolutely imperative to make sure you and your opposing counsel sit down, make sure you have all the same numbers, you have all of the pertinent dates ready to go, and if you're on the plaintiff side, get those settlement stipulations out and have them signed.
Yeah. I mean, it's such an effective tool. So I'm so glad you're here talking about that. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
This is Erin Peikes of Nivinskus Law Group, and we're at the NASP convention, and that is the long and short of it.